Hey guys, welcome to this week's podcast episode. I'm really excited about today's guest. He's a really big force in Hollywood entertainment, talent management, Nelson Paredez-Parks. He's founder and CEO of ESI Network. It's going to be a fantastic discussion on creativity, media, future of AI entertainment, and I'm happy to have Nelson on the show. So, Nelson, welcome.
Thank you so much, Chris. I'm so excited to be here. Exciting to have this
Yeah, you got a robust experience in Hollywood, and tell people about how you got started and your journey and becoming a talent manager.
Sure. So years ago, I started as a kid actor in Chicago. I worked at and toured with the youth company at Second City in Chicago when I was a teen, and that was just an amazing experience. It really gave me kind of the confidence to go out there and create a lot of initiatives. I started, my own business pretty much when I was 17 years old. And, I started coaching actors when I first came into town. I moved to Hollywood when I was 18, 19 years old. And I had various jobs, in the sense that I worked at a couple different casting offices, and I learned the casting process and what it takes to understand what actors will be going through from the casting and production side. And then I started my management company, and I've been managing now for 30 years. Right before I did management, I also taught for a while, and I taught, thousands and thousands of kids and young adults as an acting coach. And I think that's where I got, really good on my feet, since I had worked on improv at Second City, in Chicago, and then learned to be a coach and just coach thousands of kids and young adults as an acting coach. It really gave me the experience to be able to know what it was going to take to be a talent manager. And now I've had my talent management company for the last 30 years,
Yeah.
and have built a lot of clients from the ground up, and have taken clients from absolutely no experience, and I've taken to clients to the Emmys and the Oscars. So it's been a fun journey. This is not an overnight get rich quick thing at all. It takes years and years of development and work. And so my approach is very different than the average talent manager in town. So I work really the way a life coach would work. We build a business plan. We want to understand a client's goals, their marketing plan, their budget. We help them with their time. One of the things that we do that's very unique is we'll map out a plan for what a client's doing all 168 hours of their week. So
Hmm.
again, that might sound very kind of controlling, but we want to just make sure that for the talent, they really have a plan. So I think that's been, one of the reasons like it's helped us to be successful in the business, because we've really developed a plan from the ground up.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really fascinating because you've actually seen the industry really change because, in my days I would hear of people they would move out to Hollywood and they would want they to become like an actress or an actor or a musician, some creative and you had to like hustle your way and tell us about kind of how the industry's changed, how people get their foot in the door because now you got social media and now you've got AI as well. We'll talk about that. How has the industry changed to be able to thrive in this industry?
I mean, I think the thing now that you have to do is you have to think like an entrepreneur. I think that's one of the things that we've realized that like most actors just can't survive on, being an actor unless you're like an A-lister. A-listers can do whatever the heck they want, but look at the Super Bowl this year. Look at all the celebrity actors that like even did commercials. So if that doesn't tell you something is changing, like, it's a very different business. So for me, I find the actors that are really kind of moving forward with things in their career, they are thinking like entrepreneurs. They are developing multiple streams of income. They're figuring out how to automate and make income from other things. They're public speaking. They're developing brand partnerships with brands. I mean, you'll see the commercial space is totally different. We used to have clients that could shoot 3 or 4 national commercials in a year and make $200,000-300,000, and those days are gone now. Like you'll book a commercial and make 30 or 40,000, where back in the day you could do one McDonald's commercial and put a down payment on, for your house. So it's a very different landscape. And so I think that the entrepreneurs and the actors that are out there like really getting to the next level are people that are really thinking out of the box and creating great partnerships with everyone that they're doing business with.
Yeah, it's quite interesting because I spend a lot of time just, I like to see the industry and I started to, see actors and actresses go from box office hits to getting deals on Netflix and Hulu and Amazon, and all these streaming networks are attracting all the talent, and it's really interesting. And kind of talk about also, because you emphasize the importance of networking and success, and that's always been, for me, I've always partnered with people, and so you've talk about how you network, and how the art of network has evolved in digital platforms, social media, and how do you apply it in building meaningful professional relationships?
Yeah, so I mean, I think networking, is when I was younger, I didn't love the game, but now I've actually learned to master it. It's like one of the things I'll even do with some of our clients is like I'll really teach them like how to even go to a party. Like what do you do? Like I make it a game. So for example, when I'm out at an event, and I go to a party, before I walk into the event, I'll make a goal. I'll say, okay, I'm going to actually meet 10 people tonight, and I'm going to make sure that I have 10 people in my phone, before I walk out of the party. And I just make it a game. And I'll look when I walk in, I'll assess the room. I'll see the oldest person in the room and I'll want to make sure I'll connect with them. Why? Because again, the oldest person in the room probably has the most experience. So I want to make sure that I've connected with that person. I'll look at the person that seems to be like the most talkative or the most popular, and I'll say, okay, I need to connect with them. They probably have the most contacts. So I'll just look around the room and figure out like who it is that I want to make sure that I engage in. And then I'll go up, and I have a strike up a conversation for 10 or 15 minutes. And in that same conversation, I'm going to make sure that I grab my phone and I will make sure that they put their information into my phone. I want to make sure that I've collected their info. So that way I have the ability to connect and check back in with them. And once I've chatted with them for 10 or 15 minutes, I'll step away, and I'll take notes on all the things that I remember and I'll keep them in my phone. So I have a clear game plan of like everything everything I learned about that person, where they came from, do they have brothers and sisters, what they like, what they don't like. And I'll just make some notes, and I'll send them a text immediately to make sure that I didn't forget. If I'm doing this 10 or 15 times at an event, I want to make sure that I have everyone plugged into my phone, and I'll write down the name of the event that I was at. Then from there, when I get home, I make sure I have a sheet that will outline, Facebook, Instagram, each one of the platforms that are out there. And I want to make sure that someone on my team is going to connect with them and make sure that we're connected, so that we're friends, so that we're connected somehow. And then I will go through and highlight like who I need to meet with by such and such a date, and make sure that then I get them into my schedule. So it's definitely a systemized structure that I use weekly and monthly when I go to events. And when I use my structure, it's amazing the results I get create in the world. And when I don't use the structure, it's kind of like out of sight, out of mind. So I find that it is important to network, get out there, and at the end of the day, just really connect and build relationships with people.
Yeah, because the media and the entertainment industry is all about relationships and forming connections, and you want to work and do business with people who you know, like, and trust. And yeah, and I love this idea of systematic. You're putting in notes and just forming relationships, and with LinkedIn and Twitter and all these new social media platforms, you can do that very easily and at scale. So and it's networking smarter as well as harder. You talked about talent management, and you talked about today's people in the industry are have to be entrepreneurial, so future proof. And we've seen it with COVID, we've seen it with the great financial crisis. And so as a seasoned talent manager leading the ESI network, how are you adapting your strategies to future proof your talents, careers? What skills do you believe will be essential to them in this changing landscape?
Well, I think, one of the things that we actually had to do as a company during the pandemic is we need to find a way as a business to make sure that we balance income coming in from different sources of revenue from different platforms in our business. So, one of the things that I did, during the strike and during the pandemic was, when I started seeing it, be kind of slow, I started thinking out of the box and figured, what could I do to build stronger relationships, to connect with more people? One of the initiatives that we took on is we did a Zoom and built another structure called the AI Experts. That's another website that we started building. It's called the AI Experts. And what we did is I called 7 or 8 people in the AI space that seemed to be experts in AI. And even though I'm not an expert in AI, I thought, let me get more knowledgeable about that. I started chatting with a lot of my friends, and I realized that a lot of people in the entertainment business, at least from the agent manager side, were very antiquated. But some of them barely knew what ChatGPT was. So I said, okay, this tells me that like something has to be done about this conversation in our business. So I got, 6 or 7, AI people together, and we put together a Zoom meeting. And we had about 90 agents and casting directors and producers and people in the space, and we just discussed the future of entertainment with an AI. And one of the things I've told my team currently at our office is make sure that you're spending 20% of your day using AI tools or learning AI tools, not because we want to get rid of any of our staff, but because we want our staff to like be better at AI so that we're, as a company, be able to stay ahead of the cutting edge down the road. So, we're always looking to create initiatives like that. One of the other things we did is we built this other structure over the last couple of years called helpandanswers.com. Helpandanswers.com is a service that helps businesses and entrepreneurs really scale up their business. And I go through and I have a 12-week program where I'm able to go through every area of an entrepreneur's life, from when he wakes up till when he goes to bed. And we come up with like, we're going through your money, we're going through your time, we're going through your budget, we're going through your marketing plan. Like we're really coming up with a wise game plan. And I have over 80 or 90 helpful forms and sheets that I'll sit down and use with one of my clients to really have them analyze every area of their life. We're looking at like your digital space, to your physical space, to what does your car look like. We go through to make sure that like we've cleaned up every area of your life so you can really scale up and be ready to create what's next for you. So we are always thinking out of the box and creating new systems and structures that really help both our artists and now our entrepreneurs that we're mentoring and moving forward in their career. And we've developed that program called helpandanswers.com to help entrepreneurs scale up.
For the audience, out there, they may not be familiar with a lot of the AI tools. So what AI tools are you in generally using for either personal productivity, personal assistant, either creation? There's recent like Sora and all of these, just kind of throw some names out there so the audience can look it up.
Yeah, I mean, for us, I mean, we right now with most of our staff, we're using very basic things like to manage our schedule. Everything for, I mean, we obviously use the traditional, ChatGPT and Claude and Dolly, and for meetings, we'll make sure that we take notes with our note taker, and our note taker will make sure that it keeps all of our notes really well organized so that we can remember everything that we talk to, and it'll help us then create our to-do list from that. Mm-hmm. And then like in some of our initiatives, like we have this book, it's called Conflicting Loyalties. This is the book that we've been helping market and get out there. It's a very interesting story, Chris. It's about a guy that he was in the mafia when he was age 9. And he then became a DOJ informant at the age of 18, and then really started bringing down political figures and people that like really needed to, be cleaned up a lot. And so it was just a fascinating story. And so our team was kind of struggling with kind of what to do. And we used a lot of AI tools that were just helping us get some really creative videos put together in half the amount of time. And so we have some amazing images. And if you go to conflictingloyalties.com and you look at some of the socials there, you'll see some really creative AI kind of videos that we created. So 9 months ago, like I did not even understand the world of AI, even though it's been around for a long, long time. But we definitely have become a lot more educated. And we're just each day looking, we're really just asking ourselves more powerful questions each day and say, okay, how can I do this smarter? How can I do this faster? I have a business coach right now that's coaching me. And he has found some sort of technology where he can actually schedule out over 2,000 videos put together for his entire social media calendar for the year, and he can do it in less than an hour. So some of the capabilities are just mind blowing. And so right now, as a team, we're just looking at like which are those best tools to be using. It is hard to keep up. I will say that the amount of new tools that we're seeing on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah.
But if you go to our website, the AI Experts, on there will be listed a lot of, we have a whole little kit that you can kind of use. If you put your information in there, we'll send you an email list of all the tools that we currently use that might be helpful for entrepreneurs out there.
Yeah, I love that. And like AI is this basically where it's a buzz these days. And especially with the release of Sora, where you can do like a text and it can create these almost real videos. I'm looking at them. They are very hard to distinguish. And so, with AI and these tools, and 20% is devoted to learning this and keeping up. It's really hard to keep up as well. It's like the innovation is just compounding. Where do you see evolution of media consumption habits in the entertainment? Because now there's like TikTok and there's Reels, there's YouTube Shorts, and people are spending less time, watching a whole video and just kind of clips, and as well as avatars, like AI avatars, people cloning themselves. And do you see the day when we have a AI avatar celebrity that you're managing? I'm curious.
Conversations have all happened. I have a friend of mine that has been seeing a lot of that happen in New Orleans, where, celebrities will be hired to come out there and they're shooting, them as avatars to be able to present things. I think that's going to be happening more and more. So I think it's important, that you start figuring out how to innovate, that personally yourself. So I would say that if you're spending 20% of your day learning some sort of new tool, education is so important now. I used to read a book a week, like it was a book a week for years. And I think, I kind of stopped doing that when I got married and had a kid and didn't have as much time. But right now, like I'm back in the place where I'm like, if I want to stay relevant and competitive, like with what's next for my business and my clientele,
Yeah.
I need to be educating myself. So just like it's a good tool to make sure that you're saving every month, you got to make sure you're learning every month. So make sure that you're investing in yourself daily. If you don't have a business coach, if you don't have a life coach, get someone that's helping you see things out of the box, asking more questions on a daily basis. I think that's imperative to stay ahead of the curve. Much of Hollywood is changing at such a fast pace. It's really hard to keep up. If you look at Deadline, there's articles each day that are coming out, and it's just, kind of bad news after bad news after bad news. But that also means there's a golden opportunity for people that are innovators, people that like think out of the box. So I think it's important to have a bunch of mastermind groups out there that you're a part of. I remember years ago, I started this group called, with a couple friends of mine, we created something called Soul Purpose. And what it was 5 of us that every single morning of our life, for 5 days a week, we would get on the phone and like have a soul purpose conversation about what we were creating in the world that day. And so it would kind of force us, like even if we were having a bad day or we just didn't want to take action that day, you had to be accountable to 4 different people on the call. So we'd do a group call from 8 to 8:30 every day. And it was amazing in 2 years what we were able to create by just being holding ourselves accountable daily. So I think it's important to do things like that. If you don't have a formal structure, do one with your friends. Like if you're not part of a program and paying for something, at least get out there, make sure that you have a couple accountability buddies that you use daily, where you text daily or you get on a call daily. It's important to stay accountable to really, keep up the pace and stay on your A game nowadays.
Yeah, I love that. And especially now you can with YouTube and podcasting and ChatGPT, you can put together I know people are reading one book a day just to keep up, and I love this idea. And just like with technology, just play around with it and just kind of experiment, because we're watching these clips and reels, and you can be using that time to play around creating things, just like tinkering, and who knows what sort of innovations come out from there. So I love that. we're kind of coming to the end, and we'll talk about mentorship and youth in entertainment, and you've dedicated a significant part of your career to mentoring young talent, providing opportunities. And what advice do you have for parents navigating this complex journey, introducing their children to the show business, and sometimes they even have to ditch old ideas, going to school and all of this, and so that they can flourish in their careers and develop personally.
Yeah, well, I think it comes really back to education. We actually at the ESI Network have a parent orientation where we put our parents through like a 12-step kind of program to even understand like getting your kids in the business and making sure that you understand the pitfalls, the pluses, the minuses of everything, to make sure that the kids are doing this for the right reasons. You want to make sure that if you're going to be acting or you're going to pick a career like that, that you enjoy it. So a lot of times we'll sometimes meet parents that the parents want this more than their kids. So for us, we have to kind of vet out and see like, is this kid really wanting to do this or is the parent wanting to do this? So we have parents come to parent night, and at parent night, we kind of go through everything that parents need to know about the business. And we set up a role-playing session where we pretend that they're the casting directors having to pick the talent themselves. So I think, it's important to get out there and just read as many books as you can to be educated about the business. And our approach, talent management wise, is very different than the average manager out there because we care about the person more than we do the actor. I want to make sure that the client's life works. I want to make sure that the parents are doing this for the right reasons. It's a fun thing that kids really like to do. And the day the kid doesn't want to do this, we're done. I don't like to push a kid. We've seen a lot of clients that have gotten to be famous. Fame can destroy people if you're not careful. So you got to make sure that like there's a real reason behind why you're doing this acting thing, if acting is something you're pursuing. So for us, like it comes back to helping a client build a wise business plan. If you have a wise business plan put in place, it's really going to help you with the longevity of your career. And I think more than anything, you got to stay humble, like whatever you do in life, because if not, it goes to your head. You start making poor decisions. You start surrounding yourself with the wrong type of client or the right type of person. So for us, we want to make sure there's a wise plan and that each day you just keep working your plan, work your plan, plan your plan and work your plan over and over and over again. So if there's any piece of advice I would say is get educated and then make a plan and then have someone that holds you accountable to that plan.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that. You're kind of alluding to a lot of the dark side of success and of the industry. I've seen, people lose it all. So surround yourself with the right people, make right decisions, stay humble, stay hungry. How can people contact you, find out more about you, reach out to you, and see what resources you have to offer?
Got it. Well, if anyone is in the space that they want to learn more about the entertainment business, they can reach out to us through the ESI Network. So just go to the esinetwork.com and check that out. If anyone out there is looking for you're looking for a business coach, you're looking for someone that could really help you scale your business up, then reach out through our website, helpandanswers.com, set up a consultation with us. We will set up a time to meet with you and give you a free 15, 20-minute sort of conversation, and look us up on all our socials. So I really appreciate, you having me on today, Chris, and excited to kind of keep following you and all the many guests that you have, because how many shows have you now had with guests over the years?
I think we're approaching 780 shows now. We've done well, and it's all because of AI allowing us to create more and iterate more. It's been a fantastic discussion, and I really enjoyed talking with one of the titans in the entertainment industry with a long track record. And I love your principles that you're espousing, humble, good decisions, surrounding yourself, educating, giving back. For all the audience out there, be sure to give Nelson a like and follow on all his socials. Check out his website, check out his company, reach out to him. And with that, thanks so much for coming on.
Awesome. Thank you. Thanks, Chris.